Alright, so I'm back, and today I want to do a rant of the week. And this time, unlike last week, where it was more of a discussion, this time I actually do want to do a rant. Because this is something that's been kind of bugging me, and, it's been bugging me for a while. But last night, when I was just kind of, looking around at Transformers, it really started to bug me. Because it's just weird and irritating that we haven't gotten a good definitive set of these characters, and that is the G1 Predacons. I've been I did the big war video in between TFC Unique Toys and MMC Predakings, and at the time it was pretty clear who was the best option, but now so many years later, how many years ago was that? 5-6 years ago, I think. That was a while back. I could look it up, but let's see here. Try and find it here. When did I post that? Six years ago. 6 years ago. That's crazy. 6 years ago, we had a discussion on which one was the best Predaking. And at the time, MMC was the clear winner, with Unique Toys coming in second. TFC was... but now, 6 years later, what is the best option for Predaking for, let's say, Masterpiece Collection? There isn't one. Just, there isn't one. For a collection like mine, where I'm just trying to, pick and choose, here and there, it's like, if the best option is Chug, then I go Chug. If the best option is, MP or third party, I'll go with one of those. I got the great example as the Fans Hobby Scourge. It's like he was the best option for the best looking Scourge. The original Scourge from RID is still a pretty decent figure. One that I think I've reviewed on the channel before years ago. But then since then, he's only gotten a few figures since then, and they've never been that good. Most of the time when they're doing a Black Optimus Prime, they're just slapping the Nemesis Prime logo on it and calling it a day, and that's just unfortunate, because he was a totally different type of character. Anyway, back to Predaking. But there are no real good MP options for Predaking. Let's run them down real quick. Let's talk about, and the same thing can also be said with the any of the Season 3 combiners. Computron doesn't have really any options, and Abominus has next to no options. But let's talk about these options for Predaking. What we have, you have the TFC option, which some of the individual figures are actually pretty decent with a very Neo aesthetic. They look okay, but they're not great. The Razor Claw is garbage, just all around. But the individual guys, most of them look decent enough. The biggest problem with those guys is the weapons are ass, because they try to make everything into a combiner, which was just a stupid idea. And then it fell apart under its own weight. Literally, it fell apart. It cannot stand. You can't pose it. You can't move it. Nothing you do with it will work, because it'll just fall apart. So no, that's not a very good option. Unique Toys, which is funny, because it's still the best G1 looking of all of the sets. And that's just flat out the truth. You look at the rest of them and you compare it to the G1 counterparts, and the Unique Toys ones blows them out of the water when it comes to that. All right, they still look good, and I think Unique Toys missed a really good really good area that they could have stuck in that would have made them a pretty popular company if they would have focused on the paint sucked. And this is me looking at it, thinking about it today. I still have one sitting in a box of parts over there, but the paint sucks. The articulation is decent. The QC is garbage. It's floppy. There's things that, like, the hips are just, they're all over the place. And yeah, again, they try to make, they looked way too far ahead of themselves. Also, I have to make a side point, because I have to point this out every single time I see it, because I find it hysterical that they were the first one to use all the combiner parts, like the torso piece with the hips and the back plate, the hands, the feet, and the head, and the wings as parts forming bits. And, like, okay, if you're not doing a combiner, they all sit in a box, and then you have to pull them out to do that. And everybody, almost everybody on YouTube gave them shit about it. Like, this is a stupid design. Everything should be all encompassed. And now most of those same people are praising Toy World and what is Toy World's counterpart? Zeta Toys. Like, they're praising them for doing the same thing. And I just find it hysterical that, it's like, you guys gave them shit for that. Now you're praising a different company for doing the same thing. I know 6-7 years is a long time in between the two, but yeah. And I know I'm not consistent with my opinions either. But yeah, I mean, the thing is hot garbage. It's like, if they would have focused on the QC a lot more and the paint quality, it's a set that could probably sit in with most of the Fall Cybertron or the War for Cybertron trilogy, and people would bat an eye like, oh yeah, that must be part of the set. And then there's MMC, which is still the best set of the three. Quality control wise, paint wise, detail, sculpt, all that stuff. It doesn't look very G1. Has a very neo MMC aesthetic to it. And I say MMC in this aesthetic because once you see it and you see other MMC figures of that same design, you're like, oh, I know what he's talking about. But it wouldn't fit in with a modern day collection, like if you're still looking for the best versions of the characters. They're still the best of what we have, but they're still not the best of what it could be. And then we get what was it, Titan's Return or Power of the Primes, I think it was. Predaking from Hasbro, which, I have a friend out there, he's like, it's the best combiner ever made, and I still have to sit there and say, it looks bad. I don't want it. I'm not going to buy it. I will not review it. It's on BBTS right now for $250. Like, if it was $90, I might pick it up. I might be tempted to pick it up just to look at it. But $250, hell no. I've got better things to purchase with my money. And that thing just looks bad. Oh man, the beast modes are laughably bad. Like, I was looking at pictures of it last night and I legitimately laughed out loud. They are so horrendously bad. I mean, like, you got the dive bomb, like the head is like, let's say this is the torso of Dive Bomb. The head is here, and he's got this big chunk of chest hanging out at the bottom. And the same goes with, like, everybody else. Razor Claw is, like, I mean, he looks like he's smushed. And then the bot modes are not very good either. Oh, man, the head sculpt on Rampage Beast Mode is just stupid. But the bot modes don't look that great either, especially with Headstrong and Tantrum with the giant thigh piece hanging off their back. It's just like, why would you just leave that there? Just take it off. I mean, you just have it a separate piece at that point. My God. Oh, and then the combined mode with its like tiny little legs and a super long, they're tiny little wings with the long skinny legs. Just looks bad to me. There's no way around it. I mean, it's like Combiner Wars Devastator and anything Combiner Wars really, where it's like it would take a lot of work to make that look good. Takara was able to pull it off with the Devastator, but the Predaking, I there's no hope for it. And then finally, that brings us to the King toys, which, in my opinion, from what I've seen, because again, I'm not buying it because it doesn't look good to me, but from what I've seen, they look like Neo versions of the TFC Predacons, which were Neo to begin with. So it's a Neo design. And it just, and because of that, it looks stupid and goofy, and it doesn't look like if I'm sitting here and like, I want the best version of the Bugs. You know, I've got Fans Toys here, I've got the Bad Cube ones on order, and I've got the MMC ones. Every one of those has that look of the Bugs. And they're the ones that it's like, you know what? You know, they look good enough for me. Yeah, it's like they look good. Starscream. You know, I've got the new MP Starscream. To me, he looks like the best version of Starscream. But I also have the Make Toys one because I also really do enjoy that one as well. But these Predacons from King Toys look so ridiculously stupid. That I think Skullface said it best. Like, he doesn't even recognize the characters because they're so Neo, and I fully agree with him because there's times when I'm looking at some of them and it's like, if you didn't tell me that was a Predacon, I would have no idea. I would think it's just something new and unique, and I think that's probably how what they designed him as, to be a new unique combiner. And then they're like, you know what? We won't make any money if we make something new. So we've got to just do something old. So let's just repaint them and slap different heads on the bodies. And it's just like, they just look bad. I'm so far not into those ones that it's funny. But it's like, you know, here I am trying to, you know, build up my collection with just the best offerings I can find. And Predaking has always been a major important character to me, and there's no real option for him. I don't know why I'm looking. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll see him over there, but no, there's just no real good options. I love Predaking. He's my favorite G1 combiner. Period. I even have this, which I had, you know, from Skullface. You know, I was working on getting a back tattoo, and this is what I wanted, and he made this, he drew this for me on a commission, and I was so excited to get this, and then they told me I can't get any more tattoos at the moment. That was years ago, and they're still saying I can't because of a skin disease I have, but that's a different story for a different day. But it's just like, this is, you know, I had this custom drawn for me, and I got it framed, so, you know, it's like one of those things that hangs on my wall, and I'm very proud of. But, you know, it's just, that's how much I love G1 Predaking, is I was going to have that as a full back tattoo at some point. That was the plan, and now I can't get it, but the point is that's how much I like the character. And for me, I still don't have a viable option for something that's really good. Like, the best option still is MMC, and I don't know if I really want to put those back on the shelf, because I've displayed them a few times and I've sold them a few times, and it was just one of those, like, I like them, but I don't know if I love them. It's one of those sets where it's just like, if my house was on fire and I was able to save, half my collection, he'd probably be the one that's left behind. Because he just, it doesn't have that nostalgia feel for me. As much as, say, like the Unique Toys one. Like, if that thing was better, just all around better, I probably would. But as it is, he's not even coming out of the box. But it's just, I just don't understand why we haven't got a good Predaking. And, it's like I hear a lot of people like, oh man, I wish we could get this and I wish we could get that. But it's like, we've got like 14 different aerial bot sets now. I'm exaggerating, of course, but it's like, every time I turn around, there's somebody doing something that's already been done. I mean, we got 3 different MP style Stunticons, and 3 different MP style Bruticai, and it's just like the list can go on, and it's just like, and yet we still don't have a good MP style or even Earthrise style Predaking that looks like the G1 style Predaking and isn't a piece of shit like Hasbro puts out. I'm sorry, it doesn't look good to me. I know there's some people out there that's gonna love it, but when it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all, and I just nope. If somebody wants to send it to me for free so that I can review it, feel free, but I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tear that thing apart because I do not like the way it looks. It's just my biased opinion right there, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, what are your guys's like forgotten figures or set that you're just like, what happened to it? Where'd it go? Like, this is something that should have been made years ago. Why do we not have a good option for this? I could think Blitzwing off the top of my head too. It's like we had the DX9 one, which was decent, and then we had the KFC one, which was shit. And then you had Fans Toys that was over there like, hey, we're making one too. And so everybody was like, oh, well, yeah, we'll wait for Fans Toys. And it's like, how's that working out for you guys? Did it ever come out? I know they had to scrap the whole thing and start over, but, I mean, did it ever come out? Does anybody know? Because I don't know. I don't follow Fans Toys. It's just like, when the Bugs got reissued, I was all over it. Not really, even, actually. No, I was hesitant. I was actually pretty hesitant on getting the Bugs. Like, maybe. It's really expensive, though, but then I finally got it. And I hem and haw over figures, which was another reason why I don't like the Fans Toys with the small orders. It's like, okay, so if you hem and haw for 30 seconds, you're going to miss the pre-orders. It's like, but I don't know if I really want it, and I don't know if I want to get locked into something, and I don't know if I want to sit there and tie up my computer waiting for it to post. Anyway, back on topic. But anyway, is there some figure out there that you guys are like, man, I wish somebody would make this guy? I mean, where is this guy? So yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. What's missing in your collection that you really wish that you had some sort of great representation of.